Jimmy here. So new lawsuits emerge against the Trump administration for tariff refunds. This comes as the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs, and then Trump swiftly initiated new tariffs. And the Trump administration is set on providing refunds, but to Americans up to $2,000 stimulus checks. So I'm going to give you all the details of what is happening here right now in this video as we are live right here on the It's Jimmy Show on YouTube. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat, or let me know your city, state, or country down below. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos. Also, I didn't come on yesterday because yesterday was my birthday. So I was celebrating my birthday. Let me know how old you think I am in the comments section. We'll see who's right. So take a look here. President Donald Trump warns of higher tariffs amid fallout from the Supreme Court decision after the Supreme Court struck down some of the tariffs, and Trump swiftly implemented new global tariffs of 10% across the board, which is actually lower in a lot of cases and a lot of countries than what was there previously. And President Donald Trump says that more tariffs may be announced by his administration, but this comes here as President Donald Trump is set on giving $2,000 stimulus refund checks to Americans and not refunding the money to companies as they just filed new lawsuits. Take a listen here.
Tariff fallout, if you will, with FedEx now suing the Trump administration. They basically want a refund after the Supreme Court's tariff ruling. There's some legalese we'll show you here. Basically, FedEx says that since the justices decided those so-called reciprocal tariffs on pretty much any country are illegal, the administration owes them money. Gabe Gutierrez is joining us now. Presumably big bucks, Gabe. What do we know? I know this is just coming into us and we're kind of just getting a chance to sift through this here, but it's interesting.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. Look, FedEx had recently said in an earnings call that these tariffs would cost the company basically $1 billion in 2026. So this is that was part of their earnings report. So this is very significant. But yes, we're just starting to read through this lawsuit. In this lawsuit, FedEx says that it paid IEEPA duties to the United States and thus have suffered injury caused by those orders. Now, Hallie, this all really speaks to a huge question that we have following President Trump's, well, first following the Supreme Court ruling on Friday, but then also President Trump's news conference on Friday. Now that the Supreme Court ruled that these specific tariffs, these retaliatory tariffs, these IEEPA tariffs were illegal, how would the U.S. go about paying these back? And right now, we don't have a significant answer from the Trump administration. They're basically waiting to see how this all plays out in court. Now, the Trump administration was certainly waiting for lawsuits to come. This, of course, the first major lawsuit that we're now seeing here on Monday. We're out to the White House. Don't have a comment yet from White House officials as to this latest to this lawsuit, but certainly this could be the first of many to come, and we don't have a strong answer of what the administration is going to do here.
However, the Trump administration seems like they're bent on keeping the refund money, not giving it back to companies, and potentially giving it back to Americans, individuals instead, through these $2,000 stimulus refund, tariff refunds. President Donald Trump is actually warning countries to abide by the tariff deals despite the Supreme Court decision. Yeah, President Donald Trump on Monday threatened countries around the world to abide by any tariff deals that they agreed to, despite the U.S. Supreme Court's striking down many of his far-reaching taxes on imports, saying that they were not legal. Trump posted, any country that wants to, quote, play games with the Supreme Court decision, Trump posted, will be met with a much higher tariff and worse than that which they just recently agreed to. This comes after Trump said Saturday that he wants actually a global tariff of 15%, up from the 10% he announced immediately after the ruling, going from 10 to 15%, obviously, 5% more, but 50% more in general. And Trump signed an executive order enabling him to bypass Congress and impose a 10% tax on global imports starting on Tuesday, the same day of his State of the Union speech. It remains to be seen whether this will be challenged, this executive order, in courts of law, and how long that will take. Meanwhile, the U.S. has taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and new data shows that the U.S. is paying the vast majority of these tariffs. New data from January 2026 shows that American consumers and importers paid 96% of the tariff costs, with foreign exporters absorbing only 4% of the tariff costs. This is an analysis of 25 million shipment-level custom bills covering $4 trillion in imports, tracked actual tariff payments, and prices charged by the exporter. Now, we have several questions here, with President Donald Trump already implementing 10 to 15% global tariffs immediately after the Supreme Court's decision. Will that hold up? This is bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars, to which President Donald Trump has said two different things: that he could pay these $2,000 stimulus tariff refund checks, and or he could lower taxes on a broad scale for Americans, saving potentially a lot of money for Americans. However, now that companies are suing the Trump administration, they're looking to get their hands on money that they have paid. FedEx alone says that they will cost them $1 billion in 2026 in tariff costs alone. Just one company costing them $1 billion. And you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you think should get the money coming in from the tariffs? Should it be the U.S. consumers, American individuals? Should it be U.S. companies that are paying these higher tariff prices, and a lot of them having to then raise prices, which goes back to the consumer through higher prices so that they could help pay for the tariffs, because a lot of times the tariffs are more than their profit, so they physically have to raise prices? Or should the government keep it, or keep some of it, and lower down the national debt, which is now almost at $39 trillion and literally rising by the second as interest piles up, and the U.S. debt to GDP ratio is almost 125%. Wow. The U.S. debt per citizen is $112,000 plus. The U.S. debt per taxpayer, because remember, not everybody pays federal taxes going to the government, is over $355,000 debt per taxpayer. Wow. Now, the tariff revenue here shows that it's almost $375 billion and going up per, literally by the second, which is over $3,200 per taxpayer, and will continue to go up every single day that more tariffs are received. So for the Trump administration to give back a $2,000 tariff stimulus check or tariff refund check would only be a portion of the money that they've collected, and there would still be a lot left over if companies don't win lawsuits against the Trump administration and end up getting the money back. So there's a lot of question marks here. Now, I think this is important to bring up. Every year, too many seniors learn that their existing Medicare Advantage plan doesn't cover their doctors. It's just so easy to choose the wrong plan, and Medicare mistakes can cost you thousands. Yes, thousands. But my trusted partner Chapter makes Medicare simple. When you need to choose a Medicare plan, you should call these guys. Many of you already have and have saved a lot of money. I like these guys because they're independent. They're the only national advisor that compares and recommends every Medicare plan. And they've helped a lot of people save over $1,100 on their healthcare cost. People are pretty relieved when they talk to Chapter. They won't push you to get a plan that you don't need. They're really there just to help. If you're on Medicare or will be soon, contact Chapter with the phone number here on the screen or the link down below in the pinned comment. They'll help you understand the different plans, different enrollment options, and find you ways to save money on your healthcare. So make sure to share this video so other people can get this information, and subscribe down below and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. Click to watch this video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.